Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. We hit a really lovely one-to-one RR trade this morning, and it went fantastic. So let's get straight into it. It's very late, that's why I'm whispering, but let's go over some sauce and my overall thought process. Let me drag to 9:30 open. All right, going to the morning, we're delivering from this 4-hour gap right here, and we also during pre-market delivered from this 4 hour. So we're basically in a high resistance scenario where we're bouncing between two key levels, and in between that we have this 1 hour fair value gap. Now I usually anticipate, all right, I see that we have like a higher time frame key level that we can bounce off of to go lower at the morning. However, in these type of conditions, it can tend to be quite confusing. So I usually do look for more confirmation, like us tapping the key level, getting displacement, opening up some sort of gap, and then us tapping into that gap to deliver lower or higher, whatever scenario we're actually in. But nevertheless, I could tell, well, I was at least a lot more convicted in longs, mainly because we tapped this 4 hour gap and wicked CE of this gap. We tapped CE and we started printing a rejection wick, a 126 point rejection wick. So I had a lot of confidence in us running through this overall unfilled 1 hour gap and all these gaps in line straight towards this buy side, which on the 15-minute had an abundance of low resistance on both ES and NQ right here. Right, it's just a very obvious point to trade towards. We have so much stacked highs, so much general liquidity, and of course ES. Oh, sorry. All right. ES is also bouncing off its own key level, right? It swept this 4 hour intermediate low during pre-market, right? Right, I just wanted us to I just wanted us to build a little bit better internal structure, right? Because we obviously cannot long off anything here. I definitely would not want to take a 1 hour, I'm sorry, 5-minute caught as we're tapping inside a 1 hour gap. I would honestly want us to trade through this, get some clear displacement that, hey, we're definitely going to trade towards this 4 hour or even above and get a clear caught. So let's kind of play out the morning. We begin to just start running higher, and then this is where our first trade setup presented itself. It was a 5-minute mech model. We end up tapping this 1 hour gap. 1 hour? Oh no, we end up tapping this 1 hour gap and trading into this unfilled 4 hour gap. From there, we get an inversion towards the downside, which was the highest time frame inversion, which was this 1 minute to target this swing low leading up to this unfilled 5-minute. The reason why this is a pattern trade is mainly because the overall narrative for the day is looking a lot more bullish than bearish. This is simply not aligning with the higher time frame fractal movement. When I say fractal movement is, well, what does fractal really mean? It's just a smaller picture overlapping the bigger picture. All right, what's happening on the higher time frame is what should be happening on the lower time frame. And if that is the case and the higher time frame is clearly showing us bullish, rejecting off these higher time frame P rays like this 4 hour and the CE printing a big rejection wick, we want our lower time frame to look the exact same way. We don't want our lower time frame to be this red box over here, a bearish, while the higher time frame is overall bullish. Sure, we can have conditions where we can be taking shorts while the higher time frame is bullish, but in this case scenario, we are clearly trading inside a high resistance versus high resistance scenario, and currently we're respecting the bullish gap leading up to this 4 hour, which is why this is specifically a pattern trade, not following the overall narrative of the day. So I did end up fading this. We end up running higher, making me a lot more confident in our drawn liquidity. We end up inversing this unfilled 4 hour. Now, straight away, if we are clearly respecting bullish PD rays here, and at 10 a.m. we close above this 4 hour gap, we're respecting bullish and disrespecting bearish inside what? Inside an overall premium of this entire 4 hour range right here, just showing me that we are bullish on the higher time frame, no doubt about it. And our next draw on liquidity will be this buy side right here. Now, as we ended up running higher, some people were confused about how we have SMT with previous day highs and low resistance liquidity. How could I be longing against an SMT? Well, this high right here, this buy side right here, is considered high resistance until we tap something worth value on the higher time frame, like a higher time frame key level, such as a higher time frame fair value gap. Only then does that high no longer become high resistance. It actually becomes even more low resistance, as NQ will now have stacked relatively equal highs. So let me quickly draw this out for you guys. ES ends up taking out this buy side right here. But NQ does not end up taking out the buy side. We end up creating some sort of SMT. This high is now high resistance to long towards. However, if we do end up rebalancing into a higher time frame PD array, like an unfilled 15-minute gap, wow, unfilled 15-minute gap right here, and we do trade lower, tapping this high now becomes low resistance, because now we have a failed swing leading up to this high. This is no longer high resistance. It has no relevance whatsoever anymore to this SMT, because we have already mitigated a new higher time frame PD array. It's the same thing as sweeping buy side and then wanting to go to sell side. You assume buy side is high resistance until we take out the opposing draw on liquidity, right? AKA sell side. Okay, that's simple. Oh wow, it's not letting me delete that, sorry. Alright, so in this current moment, I'm still very bullish up until ENQ takes out this overall DOL. We still have abundance of low resistance. We still have relatively equal highs with NQ, and we overall created this failed swing right here. So I want to see if we can open up some sort of higher time frame gap. 15-minute or above is the rule. All right. So we end up playing, and bam, right here, yeah, 10:15, we end up trading lower, opening up this unfilled, opening up this unfilled 15-minute gap, where we then trade, right, we open up this 15-minute gap right here, where we end up trading into it and opening up our new lower time frame condition, such as this 1 minute fair value gap. Now, like I said, we play from condition to condition. Our previous condition was that 4 hour gap right there. We've disrespected our higher time frame condition. Now we're using this 15-minute as a new condition. These long 15 minutes, if we disrespect all these 15 minutes, well, we can expect to run towards the sell side. However, if we respect it, then we can go even lower, creating new conditional scenarios where we have this 1 minute gap as our new condition, where if we inverse it, we are clearly respecting the higher time frame condition, which was the 15-minute gap, and we're clearly leaning towards the bullish narrative. From here, we get a clear displacing candle. This is where I take my longs. And another reason why this trade was also a plus is paying attention to ES. Well, what is ES doing in this current scenario? Well, ES, although it is delivering heavily lower, which is a negative, it is a con, we're delivering towards an unfilled 15-minute. We are sitting inside an unfilled 15-minute PD array, which can potentially give ES the what's the word for it? True manipulation. We're gonna say where it gives us the true manipulation where, oh yeah, ES and NQ are ready to distribute as they are both inside higher time from key levels. Yeah, that's basically it actually. Where they're both sitting inside higher time from key levels and have the opportunity to deliver much higher. Right? We are in a 15-minute both on ES and NQ. Therefore, that creates our true manipulation motive. Next up, we have our low resistance liquidity, which is not us simply going sweeping on buy side, running straight lower, and then getting one inversion. You want a little bit more structure, maybe looking for a resweep and then getting that inversion. That extra swing high can do a big role in the distribution. So we have abundance of low resistance. We have that 1 minute inversion. This is the setup from 1 to 7R. I end up taking this trade. I'm going to take it right here. I took it for 4 cons, not 3 cons, but then going right here, and then bang, one more candle after this. I ended up going break even. I honestly don't see any necessary reason for us to run all the way back down to our break even. We got these numerous closes above each these down close candles. We have this 1 minute CISD, and we have this new OB being made. On top of that, ES did mitigate a bearish 5 minute on its leg. I just saw us in this current scenario that if we did want to run higher, we would do it now, and there's no reason for us to make a retracement back to our current entry. Right, so I'm gonna simply re-enter one last time. Right, so I ended up going break even right here and got absolutely flipping wrecked. Right, it just stopped and did the flipper doodles out of me, and it ended up running to my stop eventually. From here, there's two things I could do. I could, sorry, give me a moment. Okay, well, you could be waiting for us to create some sort of resweep in this scenario, but the smartest thing to do is look at the time. Well, we are currently 8 minutes or 6 minutes away from 10:30 open. Instead of getting that resweep and going for another long, instead you can just simply wait for 10:30 to get that remanipulation, open, low, high, close motive, to then manipulate into a 30-minute gap and then distribute higher. Alright, so that's what I ended up waiting for. Although we never ended up resweeping this low, if we did, I would have still waited until 10:30 open, because if 10:30 were to open, you would have had an unmitigated gap at your stop loss. And you can see that right here. I did see some people take a 1 minute long. We got SMT right here. I saw some people, we got SMT at these lows with this gap. I saw people take longs right here with this 1 minute, and they got absolutely wrecked because we have an unmitigated 30-minute at our stop. This completely unjustified. We have low resistance, unmitigated 30-minute at our stop. There is a reason for price to open lower at that current moment, to clearly be sponsored with a higher time frame repeater rate to make price distribute a lot more. Alright, so from here we get SMT at the low, we tap inside that 30-minute, we get that 10:30 open, low, high, close type of motive, and we got cleared displacing candle. Let me play it all the way. That was the close right there. Overall, this body is 26 points, while the wick is, the wick is 14 points. On top of that, we closed from this high to this low that we ended up making. We closed above premium of the range, which makes this inversion really significant. From here, I end up placing my longs, risking 4 cons, stop at the low, TP at the high, and we end up coming a little down, tapping into that RB. Make sure to put your stop at the lows. From here, we run higher and higher. I then drag my TP to a simple 1-to-1. Let me drag my stops to a 1-to-1. We can A, run higher here and hit TP, or B, stop me out at a 1-to-1. And oh shoot, I think my entry was a little bit skewed, but I did end up being stopped out at a 1-to-1. Then it ran to TP. Honestly, I had a lot more conviction, but I was at work, so I just wanted to secure that winning day. And that's overall the trade recap. Hope you guys learned a lot. Hope you guys learned a lot about the. Actually, I'm just gonna do a quick summary of what I taught today. Overall, I taught how to neglect SMTs with ES when rebalancing into a higher time per key level, making those high resistant highs into low resistant highs. I also taught you to wait for the next key open instead of just simply taking a resweep, as that is useless when price can benefit a lot more mitigating a higher time frame key level to then distribute higher. And those are basically the very saucy things to know in this video, and hope you had a good one. Goodbye.